I know from day one when I started, it actually started when I started my process, it was in the beginning of COVID. So the process itself forced me to slow down. It forced me to kind of question certain behaviors that was happening, certain things that certain people would say to me that I would finally pay attention to, like, why do you do this all the time? Why? It's just trying to figure out, okay, why do I do that all the time? Where does that come from? So, and it's not just the surface. It kind of forced me to kind of address some stuff that, like I said, traveled with me from Trinidad. So I actually had the opportunity of confronting a couple of things, confronting a couple of people. Yeah. Actually having a couple of conversations, really actually still going, like you said, it's a daily process. I do be committed to that process, because you will get up and it'll be like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to, really, do we need to deal with that today?
Right. Right.
Can that stay up under the rug for another couple more days? I mean, it's been under there for so long. A couple more days won't hurt. A spiritual journey, as much as it is been a emotional, it's been a all around journey, mind, body, and spirit.
Well, the first day when I started, I was not knowing what I was going to expect. I know it was a process that I had to go through. But it's been amazing, because I can see the change in me from day one. Day one, I was internalizing, oh, I'm not good enough. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. All this rejection that I dealt with within myself, and it's like each layer was coming off as each and every week went by. I saw what was revealed to me was the root of my rejection was dealing from father wounds, all this rejection. And that's what I've been dealing with all my life, all this rejection. I learned that, and then how to work through that rejection, knowing that I am accepted, I am good enough. And this is what I'm learning through this process.
I know from day one when I started,
Hi there, my name is Vanessa Zamy, and I am the founder and CEO of Your Visions Catalyst, where I coach, consult, and advise 9-to-5ers just like you on how to build your profit-producing, purpose-driven business, even with a demanding day job. And the best part, my zone of genius, is that we do it without the overwhelm. Because it's not hustling that's bad, it's how you're hustling that we fix. For example, while launching my businesses, I wrote a best-selling book, interviewed on several podcasts, served as a keynote for numerous organizations, while also launching several courses in my business and being promoted at my day job, for example. And with the focus on efficiency and effectiveness, I work with you as a new entrepreneur on taking care of your life while also taking care of business. Because you need to move forward in your financial freedom. You need to move forward in building your legacy. You have that purpose, and we make that happen. I work with you to catalyze your vision. I look forward to working with you and chatting with you soon. Chat soon. Bye. Oh, Jocelyn, you're mute. Can't hear you.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. This is season 4, episode 1 of the Josilyn Drake Show. We are super excited about being back. We hope that you all have been well. You know, the pandemic has been going on, but here we are once again, and we are grateful for it. I'm super excited about this show on today. Many of us all desiring, we have this thing within us where we want to work for ourselves. We want to own our own business. But unfortunately, a lot of us are doing the 9-to-5 thing. And so it has been difficult just to go 8 hours and then come home to think about a business is kind of like, I don't think so. But what we have today is our guest who's going to pull that out of you and show you and help you and give you encouragement on you can do exactly that, to build a legacy for your family and to show you how some tools to put together so you can do that. If you're already starting the journey, you're stuck, you're not knowing, what are the next steps, you're feeling discouraged, you want to give up, we're here today to encourage you. Say, sister, don't give up. Just keep on pressing on. Let's get this elephant eaten one bite at a time. So help me welcome to the Josilyn Drake Show, Vanessa Zamy on today.
Excited to be here. Excited to be here.
Welcome. Thank you so much for taking out of your time of your day to talk to us. We know your time is very important. We value it. So can you please share with us a little bit about who is Vanessa Zamy?
Great question. What a loaded question that is, Jocelyn. So, who's Vanessa Zamy? Vanessa Zamy is a business coach, a speaker, and a best-selling author. And I focus on working with and helping out 9-to-5ers. You currently have a day job. How do you ensure that you are making this business happen for yourself, right? Chances are what's happening, if you're like any of my clients, I have a business accelerator program called the Hustle and Breathe Business Accelerator. If you're like any of my clients in that accelerator, right, you're just a Jocelyn message where you have a demanding day job and you're tired, right? And essentially what I do is I fix your hustle. We work together to fix your hustle. We work together to ensure that you have the efficient time productivity strategy that you need to make the business happen, to make sure that you are working on the right marketing strategy, not just running around different pieces, lost and confused, right? Ensure that you have all the right pieces that you need to keep moving forward successfully on your business that you're probably starting, if you're like any of my clients, for your legacy, for generational wealth, for financial freedom, to set an example for your kids, right? And so ensuring that you keep moving forward with that without the overwhelm. It's a very key important part of what I do. And yeah, why do I do it though? I'm not sure if that's if we want to go into that piece of it. But so essentially a part of it is that the mission of your business catalyst, which is the consulting company that I have through which I support you, is through essentially the mission of it is equipping and empowering ambitious, purpose-led solopreneurs to keep moving forward in your business so that when that fateful day comes, because we all gonna die one day, when that fateful day comes, you can say you lived your life without any shoulda, coulda, or wouldas. And that's what it's about.
I love that. I love that. You went into who Vanessa was and also Vanessa's business. I was going to get to that, but you already covered some of it. So when you talked about overwhelm, I think that's one of the first deterrences for people stepping out or continuing on in business, because we all think in our minds this is a great idea, and it is a great idea. But there is work to get to the people who you have the solution for. And it's discouraging sometimes when we think, those 15 family members we think we know, and none of them are biting. None of them want to hear anything you have to say. And if you just stop there, you will never fulfill what you're supposed to do. You got to find the people that your voice matters to. You got to find the people who you have the solution for. It may not be for your family members. So that takes time, and it takes work, and it takes consistency, and it takes just standing. But in the midst of that, you can be very overwhelmed, especially if you're doing a 9-to-5 job. So can you just tell us a little bit about, like, how do you help people not be overwhelmed?
Yes, and there are actually two things of what she mentioned that remind me of, and hopefully I'll remember to address them. But one essentially is a whole point about, who do you reach out to, right? And doing that effectively, one piece. And there's an example, I have a classic, just terrible example that ends up happening to many entrepreneurs who give up too easily. But also two, just a key point in efficient marketing, right? And just going beyond the the whole, what they tell you on the news about, 6 steps to $1 million, 5 million in like 5 days. I got there, you can too. Right, that's all false too. But first we'll address the point about, I remember what you were mentioning, that I had a call with someone like way back when, maybe 2019, but essentially like pre-COVID, and essentially I was connecting with her, and she told me, yeah, she has an MBA, and she's in like consulting and for Fortune 500 company, a top consulting company. And we got off on the phone, and she's like, yeah, I mean, I know there's something missing in my life, and I've had ideas, but I did a business a couple of years ago, and I launched, and it didn't work out. And so I asked her more about it. She says, I'm like, oh, okay, well, she's like, I was making soap, and I had a whole website, I had a whole payment structure, and then I announced it, and like, I only got 1 sale. And I was like, oh, okay, who'd you announce it to? I texted like my 10 friends and my family members. I texted 10 of them, and I only got 1 sale, right? And at the end of the day, that's a classic example of what people do. 1, you stay rooted in just like your friends and family. 2, you use your friends and family as the example and the reason for why you should or shouldn't be continuing with your business. And then 3, you only texted 10 people. What do you expect to happen? And I think about it, like for her example, she was making a homemade natural soap, right? And the thing is, and this, you could take this product, business, and use an example even for your coaching or consulting business, right? But you're texting people who buy like Irish Spring at Walgreens about your natural homemade soap. Like, they could care less about your natural homemade soap, right? They're like, I'm going to Target right now. I'm going to Walgreens right now. Like, I don't need this natural. Like, they don't care, right? So why are you texting those friends and expecting them to just be like gung-ho about it, right? At the end of the day, what you really want is you need to reach out to the people who care about natural homemade soap, right? And you need to find them, and you need to reach out to them, and you need to make your presence known and make it known that you are the best solution for them in the market, and that your brand and your story stands for something that they should get behind and support, right? Thus, the transaction that occurs, right? But it's just a classic example of just like the many mistakes entrepreneurs make, and that you like touched on, right? In terms of, using your friends and family as the reason or the end all reason. But at the same time, we'll probably get into this in terms of community stuff, but at the same time, then being patient as an entrepreneur, right? Because we talk about it's not as simple as, oh yeah, like 5 steps to 5 million, or like, I made 6 figures in 5 days, you can too, right? What that person doesn't tell you is that this is their 10th business. They spent 5 years building a following. They use their friends' mailing list of 100,000 subscribers. That's what they don't tell you, right? What you hear is that, so it's like, yes, they made those 6 figures in 5 days, but it took 5 years. There was 5 months, there was 5 years, there was 15 years, whatever it may be, that got them to that point, right? So what ends up happening is a lot of new entrepreneurs, you hear that and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna start my business and I'm gonna start coaching people, and then I'm gonna make that 6 figures in like a week, right? And you end up with these expectations, and then you're not meeting them. Then you see your news feed, you see all these people like making all the sales, and you're just like, oh, I must not be meant for business. Like, oh, I'm so terrible. Oh my goodness, you know what? Never mind, quit, the end, right? Or essentially it just doesn't encourage you when you're exhausted from work until I work on the business, because you're like, I only made $5. Oh, nowhere near my 6 figures. Oh, gee, maybe I get to do this business thing. Who am I fooling? My friend is right. I should stick with the day job, or let me just consider this new as a job, because you have friends telling you, here's a job application for this other job, right? Meanwhile, they don't get, because they don't get it, right? So that's also another key point of entrepreneurship, is having that community. And we'll probably get into that, I don't know. But yeah, those are essentially just like key points I want to say. But so part of how I help entrepreneurs, right, in getting and reducing overwhelm is figuring out where to focus, right? It's where to focus. It's focusing your business so you can focus your time and your mind. Focus your business so you can focus your time and your mind. Not focus on your business, focus your actual business, right? Because a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in digital space, where like, I'm out here. You're on the Instagram, the TikTok, the LinkedIn, the Facebook, all that stuff. You only have 24 hours in a day. You have less than that. Let's say you sleep, you have 16 hours. Let's say you got a family, you got a day job, you got 8 hours. Oh wait, you got kids too? Oh, they need to be fed and like go to school, virtual schooling. Okay, cool, great. So now you're down to like 4 hours, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have time to be out here wasting, right? And the thing when it comes down to business, it's all about the focus. You don't need to be on all these platforms. All the people you're seeing on all these platforms, they have a team of other people on the platforms for them. You are a solopreneur starting out, and that is okay, right? So act as a solopreneur. Don't sit here trying to act like a Fortune 100 company with like 15 people on your marketing team, right? Like don't do that. Essentially, try to act like a solopreneur, right? And it's okay for you to focus because actually marketing, a fact that everyone knows is true. Riches in the niches, right? Riches in the niches, focus your business. Riches in the niches, right? So the more focused you are on, and I work with my clients in terms of understanding where's your audience, right? What is your audience, right? Is it the natural organic soap people who like what is your audience and where can we find them? When you have the right people to place in the position, we can then orient yourself appropriately for your business, right? And get you towards how do you really focus? Like when you only have 1 hour a day, what should that focus be on? Instead of just like being everywhere, what should that focus be on?
Absolutely. When you were talking, there was so much that you said that I really want to piggyback on. First of all, a business is not for the faint in heart. It's just not. And one thing that we have to understand that we are the business. Mm-hmm. So when we begin to create capacity within ourselves, then we create capacity for our business. When we ourselves get to a place where we're whole in certain areas, it kind of trickles down to everything else. And so I think not for the faint in heart means you got to address yourself. You got to really, think like, why am I not wanting to come out of my comfort zone to reach out to people who I don't know? Why is it that I just want to stick with my friends and my family because it's comfortable to me? And so you have to begin to recognize, is what you're offering valuable? Like if you don't believe in the product, then nobody else is going to believe in the product. You got to really believe in what you have is a solution for people. And that comes into getting your message. Your message has to be very prime, like very meticulous. And it has to be so put together that when it's out there, the people who need you, they say, that's it. So can you talk to us, because you mentioned a little bit about your niche. Like when you get to your niche, then you identify who your target market is. So can you just maybe delve a little bit more into that?
Yes. And this is so much what you said as well, too, in terms of this, like, even before discomfort, right? In terms of that being a big part of entrepreneurship, the discomfort piece. I know you had the 2 videos of the people who went through the whole mentorship thing that you have, right? And so it's like, and them going through their whole life transformation, that was discomfort that they had to face. But even in business, right, when you go through business entrepreneurship, there's also that level of discomfort. There's also that level of being uncomfortable and that you had to go through, right? And, going beyond the friends and the family and putting yourself out there. I had a client recently where, she was a whole like, I don't want to share much about myself. Like, and she's been in business for over a year, right? But she gets more of her clients from referrals. She doesn't get it from like the social like media, right? And so then we worked through this whole thing about her messaging. Talking about messaging, right? And so I work with a lot of my clients on messaging and framing her story and framing up, how does her life actually relate to where she is today, right? And why this business is even in formation and why people should care about it and all the other stuff, right? So then she finally posted it on her personal Facebook profile. She has over 200 reactions, over 100 comments. She had people DMing her with leads. And she's like, but I don't get it, Vanessa. I've been out here for so long. Like, what people DMing me telling me congrats. I'm like, I didn't have my business yesterday. Like, I've been out here for like over a year. Like, what do you mean? I was like, but you wouldn't tell anybody that, right? You would tell your friends, and the thing is, the business was still moving because she's so great at her job that it was so great at her business, to say. She's also great at her job, but she's also great at her business, right? Because she's always getting these client referrals, right? People always sending her stuff naturally. And so, but then essentially in making this announcement, now she got even more leads. Now she's like out here, and now she's gotten but for her, it was very uncomfortable. I had to remind her, like, remember a couple weeks ago when you were saying that, you didn't want to put yourself out there, and now look, you're so excited. I was like, and that is the next time we go through the next discomfort that we're about to go to next week. Remember this moment. But essentially it's the need for transitioning into that discomfort level, right? To make those strides in your business. And so to your question, I wanted to address that. It's just so many things. Okay. But anyways, to your question though, with respect to the efficiencies in the marketing, right? So with that being said, key components, where should I go with this? There's so many things to go with this. I would say, okay, so many different things. So when it comes to your marketing, right, it is a matter of the focus of it, right? The matter of once you understand your business proposition in terms of who you're serving, what problem you help them with, and how you help them, right? So the who you're serving, what problem you help with them, help them with, and then how you help them, how you solve their problem, right? So those are the 3 key components of your business. The 3 key components of your business: the who, the what, and the how. Once you have that, you can just put that everywhere. I kid you not. And essentially, it's just like a great way, because then you understand, okay, who am I serving? Maybe it's busy moms, right? Busy moms who can't take care of themselves but want to take care of themselves. That's a different population. There's a busy moms who can't take care of themselves, but they're not thinking about that, right? Then there are busy moms who can't take care of themselves, but they want to take care of themselves, right? That's a whole nother population. They hang out in 2 different places, right? And also, depending on where you're hanging out, you're going to say 2 different things. And so at the end of the day, that's part of it too, in terms of, when people think about, like, I know a lot of people on Clubhouse, right? So Clubhouse rooms, right? But even also Facebook groups, right? Or even just all these different communities. Maybe you go to a certain event, or you're part of a certain like networking group, whatever it may be, right? Different spaces, different conversations. It is a different group, right? So you need to understand who you're serving to then understand, where are they hanging out? Where are they? And then you put yourself where they are. Right. And then in having that understanding of who you're serving and having an understanding of what problem you help them with, right? Essentially, that helps you to understand, okay, how do I position myself to be the solution versus being a part of the problem, right? Like, how do you position yourself to be the solution? And so I work with my clients deeply in terms of ensuring that all the messaging that they put out there relates to all the content that they have, right? Relates to positioning themselves as a solution. I think about it in terms of, like, an example would be, if we're going to give like an example. But okay, let's say you have a woman who's like, oh my God, I look so great today. Maybe she's like in her 60s, and she's like, I look so great today. Oh my goodness, I have like no wrinkles. I'm so beautiful. I'm so awesome. And then you have some anti-aging cream, and you know that she's 60 years old. You come to her and you say, this will get rid of all your wrinkles and make you look prettier, right? That's not going to fit. Why? For people who didn't catch that, why does that not fit, right? The reason why that doesn't fit. Hi, Regina, how's it going? And so the reason why that doesn't fit is because she already thinks she thinks she's beautiful. She doesn't think she has wrinkles. You out here telling her she has wrinkles, and you telling her that she's not pretty. Block, like, you will be blocked, right? Like, and so you have to meet people where they are and understand where they're coming from, right? So that you can position yourself as a solution. It's like, you already look great. So versus, like, another way you can message the sentence to say, you already look so amazing. This will help you even look even more amazing, right? Just that, right? Or, you could say, this is for 60-year-olds looking to get that new man in a retirement home. Like, like, you could do it in different ways, right? But let's say that she's looking for love, like, that maybe, and that, right? You can position yourself that way. But it's understanding, okay, who are you helping? What problems do they have? And then how do you fit yourself around meeting them where they are, like literally meeting them, like being in the same place that they are in, but then also meeting them in terms of the words that you're saying and the conversation that you're having with them to get them to understand that you are the best solution for them.
I love it. Meeting people where they are is so important. Sometimes we just overlook that. We just think, I got a product and it's good and you just should buy it,
Yeah, I had someone, I was like, what's your issue with your marketing? And someone was like, it was like a couple months ago, she was like, I need people to appreciate what I have. And I was like, it's not about them appreciating you. Like, it's about you appreciating where they are and meeting them where they are, right? It's not about you. It's not about you at all, right? It's about them. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the shift in entrepreneurship. You're actually presenting a solution. So when you're presenting a solution, it's not for you, it's for the people that you're marketing to. It's the people you're get sales from. So it has to be about them. What is their pain point? What is it that they just need so bad that you have a solution for? And so when we can get out of that and then begin to think about people, then we will message and we will be genuine and authentic in what we say. Now, another thing is when we are out here, the distinction in when you have a heart, you mentioned about talking to people who aren't ready, or talking to people, say, for instance, someone's overweight, you got this bar that's going to help them reduce weight. But if they're not ready for that, like, to them. So we got to make sure that we know exactly what, and even how you said, how we say it. Like, we could say, I know you, I don't know how you would tell somebody that's overweight, here's this bar, but I'm sure if you took the time to delve in it, there would be a message where they could be receptive, because people don't want to stay that way, but again, they don't want to be offended about where they are either.
off the top of my head, I can think about it in different examples. Let's say, for example, like someone who's, let's take that example. So it's someone who's overweight, right? And the fact of the matter is, it's like, okay, now, so within business where it gets complicated because you have the person who's overweight, right? And they say they've been trying to lose the weight versus the person who's overweight, but they haven't even thought about health. That's not even like they're not even thinking about, losing weight or doing anything with their themselves. Those are people you don't want to connect with, at least not right now. You keep them, you nurture them, cool. Let's say you're talking to someone who is like, maybe they've been on several diets. Maybe they've been going to separate gyms. They've been having different trainers and they're like, I just don't get it. I'm overweight, right? That person might actually be saying that they're overweight. And so if you come to them and say, I can help you decrease your overweight, that's actually not insulting because that person already thought that. They're already in that mental mind space. And that goes into understanding who you're actually targeting, right? And what is it that they're saying to themselves, right? Versus someone who, let's say, they don't even realize they're overweight. They just like know that because the U.S. like the majority of the population is overweight, right? So they may be like, oh, it's normal. This is not an overweight thing. This is a small weight, right? Mm-hmm. And so let's say, for example, that person, you're connected with that person. First of all, let's say that's your audience, first of all, like, right? So let's say you're connected with that person because that's your audience. You're speaking to people who are not aware that they are overweight. They're just aware that they are overweight, right? Well, now think back to their pain points. Think about their pain points. Are they struggling to get up the stairs 5 steps to get into their house? Are they huffing and puffing when they make it to their door? Are they finding that they can't run around the playground with their kids? Are they, so the chances are yes and yes, all right? Are they finding that they, have trouble getting out of their car? Are they finding that they have trouble getting out of bed, right? And so what are all these other pain points? Maybe they're not saying overweight, but there are other ways that they're acting, other ways that they are showing themselves, right? And that if you understand that, and that's who you're going after, then that's how you position yourself. But then it also goes back to like, who are you helping? Because you can help these like 2 different groups, there's even more beyond that, but let's these 2 different groups in different ways, right? Depending on where they're coming from and where they are. And then essentially depending on, how you reach, depending on what they're saying and who you're targeting, that then will reflect where are you hanging out, right? And I think about even just like taking a step outside of even the health journey, right? It's, let's say you're, you're trying to reach the senior citizens. Why are you on Instagram if you're trying to reach senior citizens? Like, I don't think they're on Instagram, but hey, maybe they are, like it's sort of like one of those things where, understanding who you're helping, understanding how you're helping them, and having that message to just come straight in line with what it is that they need.
Yeah. Hey, Regina, thank you so much for tuning in, joining to the conversation. You have any questions for us, please feel free to respond and talk to us. We're looking forward to it. She says, hello, sister. Hello, Regina. Hello. Let's move on. One thing about marketing, which once you've worked hard, you got the product, you're ready to tell the world about it, and you're ready to launch. Help us understand that marketing is a numbers game.
Yes, it is. Marketing is a numbers game. It is what is it? It's a numbers game, but it's also not a numbers game. I'm gonna preface that and say it's a numbers game. It's also not a numbers game. It's a numbers game in that, let's say you only reach out to 10 people. You can't expect, like kind of the soap example from earlier, right? You can't expect that those 10 people are just all going to say yes and you can get 10 sales. Like, no, right? There's a percentage to this, right? The more people you reach out to, the better chance you are. However, here's where it's kind of also not a numbers game. Let's say you reached out to 10 people and they were 10 of the right people, then you could have gotten maybe 8 sales. And so that's where it becomes, it's like a numbers game. It's also not a numbers game in the sense that the more people you reach out to, the more you're out there. Yes. Okay, cool. You can say that, okay, that you will, at some point, the odds will be in your favor, right? The more you reach out, the odds will be in your favor. But at the same time, and this is where a lot of entrepreneurs are going wrong, is that they're going out here everywhere, but it's because they're everywhere, because they're saying everything and they're saying nothing at the same time. And so at the end of the day, and they're saying nothing at the same time, that they're everywhere. And so there's nothing really sticking. And so it doesn't matter that you're, reaching out to such many people because none of them are relevant. I think of it just like, for example, I was working with a client a couple months ago and it was last year, and we were working on her marketing strategy. And so what I do with my clients is I always do like a marketing audit. So I tell them to send me all their links and I just like look through everything. So we hop on the phone together. And it's like a marketing strategy audit, but also marketing strategy session. I'm on the phone. I'm like, okay, you have 3,500 people on your Instagram. Now, someone might be listening and watching this and being like, oh my God, that's so much. That's so high. Like, whoa, great. Okay, she has 3,500 people. So I'm like, oh my God, she has 3,500 people. But here's the question that I know to ask. Of those 3,500 people, who actually is your audience? Right? Of the 3,500, who's actually your audience? Because that's what really matters. You could have 3,500 people, but if none of them, and for her, she's actually looking to help people like podcast building, right? And so the question was, okay, of the 3,500 people, who of them are even thinking about doing a podcast, right? And the question, she was like, oh, like a handful, like 5 to 10 people. And I already sort of had a hint of that, because when you see the posts that are actually popular on her feed, the ones that relate to podcasts, no. 0. The ones that relate to a quote or motivational things, like, oh yeah, woo-hoo. Right? And so, but essentially at the end of the day, it's the numbers. Yeah, you could have 4,000, 5,000, 10,000, sure. But if none of those 10,000 people are the right people, then it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all, right? And when I say it doesn't matter, it matters in that you can use it, and you can leverage it, and we can reach out to 3,500 people and 10,000 people. But at the end of the day, you could have also just had 300 people, and all of them have been the right people and have money in your bank, right? When it comes down to your products and your services. And so when I talk about focusing your business so you can focus your time and your mind, for those who are 9-to-5ers, right, building your business, it's not about being everywhere. It's not about, just like stretching yourself thin and being up till 2 a.m. No. It's about, you have 1 hour a day. What are you doing in that 1 hour? Where are you placing yourself? How are you messaging yourself to show up for the people that you need to show up for?
Mm-hmm. Welcome. I think it's Toyo. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. Miss Cobb, let's say that. I know I can pronounce Cobb. Welcome. Join into the conversation. You have any questions for us, please feel free to write them out. So when a person is already marketing to the wrong person, it's because we all work so hard to get our product to market. Like, and the stopping is when no one is biting, no one is responding. So when you're talking to the wrong people, you're putting out posts, nobody's necessarily paying any attention to them. How do you shift your message, or where do you go to find? Because I think what we forget is that you got to continually be reinventing yourself, continually reinventing the message until it gets to a place where people are like, so that's what it is, or the voice is so it's so meticulous that people are saying, yeah, I understand what you are. Sometimes they don't even understand what it is that we're offering.
Yeah.
So how do we shift ourselves or not get discouraged and frustrated when we have to keep reinventing the message and keep digging deeper and making it more precise and change it? And sometimes you even have to change the model. You start out doing one thing and you figure out, oh no, I need to do this.
Yeah, so you bring up to such a very important point. And so, like, first I would say, hey, Toyo, how's it going? She's in my community of ambitious, purpose-led solopreneurs and skyrocketing your side business community. And so I just want to say, hey, she's participating in our past boot camp. But anyways, with that being said, with your question in terms of how do you ensure that you keep moving forward, even when you have to pivot, or even when you're not getting the likes, you're getting like 1 like or zero likes, 0 reactions, right? Because even 1 like, it's an important like. Treasure that like, right? But essentially, let's say you're getting no likes, you're getting no reactions, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, it comes down to the reason why I always say I coach, consult, and advise 9-to-5ers looking to grow their profit-producing, purpose-driven business, even with a demanding day job. And I emphasize the purpose-driven part because that's what it comes down to, right? When you are not getting results that you think you should be seeing, when you are, you're getting you did that webinar and maybe you didn't get any sales. Or you put that post up and like no bites. Maybe you asked for a consult and no one messaged you. Maybe you did that comment and like nothing happened, right? When that happens, because it is gonna happen, right? Unless you're just starting out and successful. But essentially the thing is that when that happens, how do you keep moving forward when it happens time and time again? It's about understanding and asking yourself. I had one client where she was very new starting out, and she had this whole like launch and stuff. It didn't go as planned, which I wonder about, because I was like, you didn't do fully out, but that's another story. It didn't go as planned. And she was like, tears. I've had tears with my clients. Like, they cry. We all cry, folks. Tony Robbins has cried. Oprah has cried. Tyler Perry has cried. Listen, but point being, I got with her, right? And the thing is, at the end of the day, she's like, well, I don't know if I should keep going. I don't know if I should do this. And it's like, do you believe that you are meant to still do this, right? Like, do you believe that what you're doing is what you're meant to do? That's really the question at the end of the day. That's how you know whether or not you should keep on going, right? Is, do you believe that this is what you're meant to do? If that answer is yes, then the next question is, now we just got to worry about, how do we find a way? How do we find a way to, what is the right pivot to make? How do we assess the right problem, right? So that we can get to the right solution. And the point about like that last part, how do you assess the right problem to get to the right solution? That's also where there's some missteps in entrepreneurship as well too, where it's very easy for people to be like, okay, I know I'm still meant to like help people out on this, you know, with like skincare, but no one liked my post. So you know what? Let me just switch to lashes. Or I know I'm supposed to help people out with skincare, but you know what? No one liked my post. You know, I'm gonna go to crypto. Or, you know, I know I'm supposed to do this skincare stuff, but you know what? No one liked my post. Let me just decrease all my prices. I'll just put everything $1. Like, you know, and so what ends up happening is you end up making all these changes that you didn't really need to make, right? And because that wasn't the problem, right? The problem could have been that you just weren't in the right room. The problem could have been that the algorithm didn't like your post, so they didn't put your post on other people's feeds, right? It wasn't even about you, right? The problem could have been that, you know, your price is probably really low actually, but you're reaching the wrong people. So you have your friends telling you this, it's like really high, but that's because they don't care about natural organic soap. Let's take that example, right? Like they don't understand the value of what it is that you're providing, right? Or the services that you're providing with your mentorship or your coaching, whatever it may be. And so what it comes down to is, if you still believe that yes, you're meant to keep moving forward with the business, then yes, you find a way. That where people go wrong is that the way ends up being either another business, or they decide like, I'm gonna do this tangential thing that semi-relates and makes me still feel a little better about what it is that I'm doing, but like I'm not really doing it, and right? Or they just end up, we switch up the whole business model. We don't need to switch the business model because that's not what really was wrong, right? And that is the value of working with natural mentor and a coach, is that they can take that third party view, right, and take a step back, so that you can see the actual big picture. Because it's very easy to be stuck in the weeds, especially as an entrepreneur, where you're just like, oh, is this, because you know all the details, right? And it's very easy to get stuck in the weeds, but when you get that third party view, it's like, oh, okay. Now here's the thing though about third party views. You ask your friend down the street who doesn't have a business about their opinion. And then it's like, that's not, when I say third party view, I don't mean that person. No, right? I mean a business expert, right? I mean, you other entrepreneurs, like, I don't mean the person who's like your best friend from like elementary school, who's just out here like, hey girl, I'm so glad you got your business. Yes, that's different. That's a different person. I mean, actual third party knowledgeable expert to give you advice and the support that you need to keep moving forward in your business.
Yeah, you know what I found that business does? It interrogates you why you're doing it for real. Like if you just want it,
nice way to put that.
For people to say you got a business and all your friends to see you, like it really never works, you know, and that's when you're really frustrated. I can remember to this day when I first did my first album, I didn't know anyone in the industry that was connected the way I saw my album being connected. I didn't have any local people that were wanting to, you know, come behind me and help me, you know, family, friends. Yep. I was literally praying and doing it on my own. And I was being led to the right people. See, it ain't the people that you think that you know about what you're doing. It just takes the right people to know. And so from that album, I've done things that people who can sing better than me, who know more people than I do. I have hit the Billboard charts with my album. I have been on all types of television shows here, there, and the other. And you know what? People locally still don't know me. And so I have been on Sirius Radio. I get royalties. You got all of these things that most people never. I've been awarded, you know, have an opportunity to be nominated for awards and so on and so on. And like I say, there are people who sing like I sing every day. I had a business mind and I began to research the business, and I believe product, and then I connected myself with the people who could help me, like not my family and my friends or my church members. Yeah, they're good, but I'm talking about where I wanted to go. I needed a connection in industries. I needed the right people. So talk to us a little bit about getting beyond like everybody, girlfriend, girl, she in business, you know, getting beyond that to really, really doing what you believe your product is and what you believe that you've been called to do.
First of all, I love that, Jocelyn. Yes, love the story. And so and the reason why I connected with lots of, I'm an artist appreciator. I'm an artist appreciator, not an artist myself. Artist appreciator. And so I don't practice my art, but I appreciate the art. So I've been in around artists for like 10 plus years, or actually, no, I guess 15 plus years. And essentially like this whole like starving artist concept, but we can talk about that on another show. But point being that when it comes to getting to that community and getting to those people and getting to that support for your business, ways to do that, you reach out there. First of all, if you want to just other entrepreneurs, there are different networking opportunities, right, for other entrepreneurs. There are different groups. So I have my group Skyrocket Your Side Business, right, where Toil's at. Hey girl. So Skyrocket Your Side Business, right, we have over 1,000 ambitious purpose-led solopreneurs, right, who are out here and try to keep moving forward in their business, right? There are opportunities like that. There are actual other next level programs and other next level opportunities you can do too with the accelerator. You can also connect with other people like on lives and other people who are other Facebook groups and other such things, right, in order to get your people. Also, there's also like meetups and Eventbrites and events, like actual events, right, even virtually. I don't know, some of you though are in towns and cities and states where you can be in person at these events, right? So but even that in-person or virtual events, in meeting the people, right? Meeting the people, having those discussions, having those conversations, right? And getting to those connections that you need. And so when it comes down to it, it's a matter of having that will and that power within you to be like, yes, this is what I meant to do. And I'm going to keep moving forward in it because I know that this is what I meant to do. Mm-hmm. I know I meant to support people and making their businesses happen, even with their day job. I know this. And so I'm going to keep on doing this, right? And so, and the thing is that with that will, you can do pretty much anything. And it's like when people are, going out, they're like, I'm going to just go to New York City and I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to just go to LA and I'm going to make it happen, right? And so it's like kind of like that will and that power, right? To say to yourself, I'm going to just go for it. I'm going to see what happens, right? At the same time, though, let's not be crazy and stupid and dumb, right? Because the thing is that then you'll have people who they'll go to New York, but they don't know no one there. They have no idea who to even connect. They have no idea where they need to go, right? That's also like people starting their business. They're starting a business. They're like, I have no idea where to go. I don't know what to do, etc. So there are a lot of people who have quit their job and decide to go into their business, but then they just end up figuring out as they go too, right? And unfortunately, that leads to some struggles, some stress, unnecessary stuff, all that jazz. But at the end of the day, it's when you have that willpower, it'll see you through. It will see you through, right? And how you can ensure that you get those connections is reach out to you, go to the business that's down the street from you, right? Like ask them how they came to be, what happened with them, right? And maybe they'll be willing to mentor you or something like that, right? Or there's also a whole bunch of business coaches, such as myself, right? But maybe you don't vibe with me. That's cool. You don't have to vibe with me. Vibe with someone, though. Vibe with someone to get yourself the mentorship and coaching that you need to really see your business and make it as successful as it can be, right? You could spend 20 years struggling and stressing out, or you could spend 20 days or, that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day, right? It's like there's some people who figure out their life when they're 20. Some people don't figure it out until they're 70, right? And so you can decide what path you want to go on at the end of the day, as long as you keep moving forward in your purpose.
You said something very key there today, because there is so much information. We can just Google anything and get the information, but we get the information, but there are also questions in the middle of the information that the information doesn't tell you. And it doesn't tell you how it applies to my life or to my business. And so, but having a coach, having someone that you can ask these hard questions to, people have knowledge that can shift you in a place in, like you said, like 2 days that you could sit for 5 years trying to figure out. And what I found is a lot of us don't want to invest. We want everything free. We don't, free is not free. We have to begin to invest in ourselves to get the knowledge. See, investment puts you in rooms that free rooms could never get you into. And talk to us a little bit about the importance of connecting with people who are already in the rooms, connecting with people who have already done what you've done, connecting with the people who have the knowledge. There's a Bible scripture that says people perish for lack of knowledge. And a lot of us in our businesses are perishing because we don't have the knowledge, because we don't want to pay someone to teach us how to do these things that we need to do, and whatever it is in our lives. If you value who you are, you value what you have, then you should value yourself enough to have a team alongside inside of you who already know the industry, who already have the connections. That's the way I got there. I decided, listen, I believe in, I'm going to pay somebody to be on my team and who's out there and do what I need done. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes. So the thing is that when you, and I've invested like personally, I've invested over tens of thousands into different programs, and right, like it would be very, I know there are a lot of people who are, you know, like coaches and other consultants, and they'll ask you to pay them, but they don't want to pay someone else to be their coach or consultant. It's like, isn't that hypocritical? Not a little bit hypocritical. But point being, I invested over tens of thousands, right, into my coach, even before I even entered business, and, you know, investing even in myself and like life coaching, all that such things, and getting me to a mindset where I could be ready for the business success. But with that being said, right, the importance of being in the right rooms, you just don't know what you don't know. Right? Like you don't know what you don't know, right? But even to the point of where you're talking about the questions, right? Where let's say, okay, now you know something, but now you don't know what it means to you, right? Or it's open to interpretation, essentially. Mm-hmm. Open to interpretation. And we're taking even back to like even just a simple example of, you know, you have one article telling you should do 10 Instagram stories every single day. And another article that's like, forget Instagram. Do LinkedIn. Another article that's like, okay, do Instagram, but you only need to do IGTV. That's all you need to do, right? And so you're sitting here with all these different pieces of information. And you're just like, so do I do them all? Right? And it's like, no, you don't do them all because you only have 24 hours in a day. You have a day job. You have a family. Like, no, you don't do them all, right? That's not what it is, right? Essentially, it's you do what works best for you, but you only understand that when you speak to the right people who can tell you what works best for you, right? And at the end of the day, it's also a matter of taking in the advice. Not, you know, you can taking some people, you can get information from all different places, right? You take it in there, you filter it through for yourself, right? But such as a new entrepreneur, it's very difficult to do that. And the thing is, here's the thing: there are 6, 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs who also have coaches. Like this is not something that's like, oh, I'm at 0 figures, I get one coach, and then that's it, right? No, like athletes have coaches, like literal coaches, because like, you know, literal coaches, right? You know, Tyler Perry has a coach, right? Like everyone has a coach or a mentor, right? This is not just like something that, oh, when you're starting out, you have a coach then, and then I'll never need a team of people. No, the people you see on stages, the people you see, you know, on TV, the people you see, you know, on your news feed, chances are there's someone else behind that. They have a team of people. They have someone on speed dial. They have an advisory team, right? When you think about even think about your day job. Think about your day job and how the difference between you knowing the right people at your day job to get you to the next level and to sponsor you, quote unquote, versus you just being by yourself in the cubicle expecting things to happen to you. It's just two different vantage points, right? They say that in you know, the day job corporate America is who you know. It's who you know. It's that cousin who, you know, who uncle owns his company, who's able to get them a job, right? And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, right? It's you having a best friend from college who, you know, whose mom is the news anchor or the person who's responsible for the top podcast in the world, and you reach out to her and then she gets you a spot, right? That is the difference between different rooms. And I learned that essentially when I went to Stanford. I learned that because I came from a low-income background, urban public school environment, and I didn't know people for real when I was going. Like I was like, you know, but essentially in developing and meeting those people in those communities, right, in the Stanford community and all that stuff. Like that's when people ask me, "Oh, Stanford," and I was like, it was a great field of resources. That's what it was, right? It was a great field of people and money and resources and energy, right? That allowed for many different other opportunities, right? In my life, in my space. And the thing is, at the end of the day, you'll find that if you were to look back and reflect on your own life, you can probably find that there are moments when if you weren't in that space, if you weren't at that meeting, if you weren't like you wouldn't be the way you are today, right? And that's what it comes down to, because the people, and the thing is that in the grand scheme of things, right, you are currently at a certain chapter in your life. Let's say you're on chapter 3. You are trying to get to chapter 4. Chapter 3 is not going to take the same amount of resources to get to chapter 4. Otherwise, you would be at chapter 4, right? To get past chapter 3, you're going to need a whole new set of resources, like just a whole new toolbox, right? When it comes to your mind, your body, and your soul. You need a whole new set of resources, right, to get to chapter 4. And guess what? You get to chapter 4, you say the same thing when you're trying to get to chapter 5. You need a whole new set right? And that's what life is about. It's about that growth. It's about the transformation. It's about, you know, taking the time and realizing that you just don't know what you don't know, but you also can't know it all either. So you got to make that space and make that time and give yourself that room to learn more and to grow more, right? And, you know, I think we talked about this early in the episode. It's uncomfortable, right? It is uncomfortable, but you have to step into the discomfort because that's the only way that you're going to make it to the next level, right? It is uncomfortable. That's why not everyone is out here, literally. Because the thing is, when it comes down to business, right, we talked about it like early in this episode where you know who you are, you know who you're trying to reach, you understand what the problem is. Like there are nuances and stuff that are like a little bit complicated, but the difference between the people who are still doing their business and the people who quit, right? Because they had a statistic that's like 9 out of 10 entrepreneurs fail. It's not because the information is not out there. It's not because they couldn't get help, because they didn't want to get help, right? They thought that it was just, it's only me. I need to do it myself. Like, I got this. It's only me. And like, no, that's not what people are doing, right? Successful people have coaches, mentors, advisors. That's just so, even Fortune 500 companies, they hire consultants. Absolutely. I was one of those consultants. Like, they hire consultants, right? Like, it's just never going to end. And you just need to realize that for yourself in terms of, two questions. Do you believe in your next level of success? Do you believe that there's a chapter 4? Do you believe in that chapter, right? And then are you ready for that chapter? Are you ready for that chapter 4? Are you ready for that next level of success? Because then if you're ready for it and if you believe in it, then the next step is very easy and simple. That's right. That's when it comes down to it, right? But it's when you don't believe, or when there's some doubt, when there's a fear, when there's, when you're letting that get in the way, you stay behind. You stay behind.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we said earlier, business is not for the faint in heart. It's really draw out of you stuff you never knew you had. I mean, it's going to draw some things out of you never knew you had. And I love what you talked about, us remaining teachable. See, sometimes we forget that we have to be taught all the time. There are different levels, different sets for the levels. And that means you're going to need a whole different team. And some people don't reach their goal because they keep trying to bring the same team.
Yes.
And they don't have the skills for that level. And you're frustrated because you're trying to figure out, how do I break through? Well, surround yourself with a new community, a different network, a different breed of people who have a little bit more knowledge than the people that you're walking with. That means sometimes you got to say goodbye. That means sometimes you got to say we come together as far as we can. In order for me to go to the next level, I've got to shift. And so in business, though, it is important that you know how to shift, and you know how to shift quickly, because if you take your time and shift, sometimes it can destroy your entire business. And also getting comfortable with where you are.
Many people learned that in COVID, but yes.
Yes, absolutely. You're doing wonderful. You made tons of sales. Your business is good, and you never thought that you should keep up with the times. So business is always, you got to always be evolving, always in the now. Technology changes all the time. Are you up to par? Are you ready? Are you in these meetings and virtual meetings, learning the new skills and the new sets needed and things like that? So I love what you were saying, the importance of having community, the importance of having coaches. You're like, when you listen to people like Bill Gates and Tony Robbins and Bishop Jakes and people, Oprah Winfrey, these people have people who are literally, Oprah sits there with her, what is that called? Where she has all the people in the life classes, and she's sitting there being taught. Now, if billionaire can sit there and humble herself and bring people in to teach her and us, what makes us think that we don't have to have people teach us to get to the next level?
Indeed. Love it. Yeah.
So I love what you were saying. There were so many wonderful things that we talked about. We talked about the marketing, getting to the next level in these new boardrooms. So now what we want to share, we have about 9 more minutes before it's time to go. We have a new platform. It's a technology platform where we host content creators' information and courses. We house and we host them, and it is for women. We are seeking to be the leader in content creation for women. And so we're partnering with some phenomenal queen coaches. This is called Queendom. Queendom teaching queens how to reign out here in this industry, how to dominate. And it's the very thing that we're talking about, having people that you can connect with. I remember a time just wanting somebody that, you know, if I could just talk to somebody, if somebody could just answer this question. And so I said to myself, why don't you make it? Why don't you make that thing? Why don't you make that platform so people don't have to sit and say, I just wish I had somebody who could answer this question. I just wish I had somebody who I can talk to. And so what we're doing, we're building this platform and we're putting courses out there with all different levels, affordability. There's some that's on the low end. There's some that's on the high end. And it's for every woman that wants to go to the next step. And it's lifestyle. It's about business. It's about finances. We have entertainment. We're putting on events and so on and so forth. And so we're in our pre-launch stage of Queendom. But what I wanted to share with you today is in our pre-launch stage, we have a course already ready and out there and available, and you can pre-register today. And it is with Vanessa Zamy. She is here. We've talked to her. We've heard her. We know she coaches many, many, many people. We know that she is more than capable to help us. And what I love about her, I appreciate about her, is that she brought her price down so that it could be affordable for women who are, you know, sometimes we just don't realize we got the money. We just spending it in the wrong places. So we have to learn how to shift and not eat out so much so we can have that $100 or that $200, that $300, or whatever it is to invest in ourselves. So I'm going to take this time to let Vanessa share with us what her course is on Queendom, and then share with you after she finishes where you can go and pre-register for the course. Vanessa, share with us about the Growing Your Business course that's up and ready.
Yes. And so this course is for the CEOs who have, already launched your business, or you made an announcement, even if it was to just 10 friends and family members, you made an announcement about your business, but now you're in a struggling stage and you're overwhelmed with how to continue giving to and growing this profit-producing, purpose-driven business that you know you're meant to do, right? But you have a demanding day job, parent responsibilities, and everything in between, right? And so this course is about, we are connecting, first it starts live. So we're actually gonna be doing a live event, you and I, live event for many hours on a Saturday. And essentially it is, so it's happening Saturday, April 24th, right? And so we're giving you enough advance notice so you can block it on your calendar. Absolutely, right? I know the people who got lots to do, the calendar is very important. And so with that, in this course, you're gonna be learning tactical and actionable tips to create the schedule that has you feeling cool, calm, and collected and consistent, right? Also, because it's live, we'll be able to dive deep into your actual business, right? Taking the time. And so we'll also have opportunities as well too. And as well as maintain the motivation throughout the many to-dos, optimizing the synergy between your business and your life, right? Balancing it all as you build a profit-producing, purpose-driven business. So we're going to all the things, including managing your workflow, right? How to eliminate I'm busy from your vocabulary. How do you redefine time management, which I did not believe exists. We're going to dive deeper into that on Saturday, April 24th, and essentially getting you ready for success, right? We are also focusing on managing your workflow effectively to handle your day job and your business and the family and everything as you go through, right? The many hats that you're wearing, the CFO, the CMO, the COO, all that jazz, right? We're going through all that as well during that day. We'll also be going into removing blocks, removing toxic habits so that you can bring in new success habits, new queen habits, right? New next level habits into your life so that you can reach that next level, right? This course is about preventing overwhelm when it comes to your marketing and social media, right? Getting you to maximize your focus. We'll be doing in-person pitch competition evaluations, in-person marketing strategy development, and in terms of getting you to understand how do you ensure that you underwhelm your overwhelmed marketing, ensure that you are coming correct and showing up confidently and calmly in this digital media market space as well too, right? And also, we're going to be going into even more beyond that, right? In terms of also in my problem-solving fashion. So I'm a zone of genius is problem-solving. So essentially, come with the questions. We don't come with the answers. Okay? Come with the questions. I'm coming here with the answers, right? We're also going to be showing key strategies to getting you to massively impact your business project for this year, for this next year, for many years, right? And so join us April 24th on Saturday. And for those who sign up as well, now, I think, Jocelyn did she put in the link? I'm not sure. But essentially for those who sign up today for the next, essentially before the late registration, right? So before the end of March, before my birthday, For those who sign up before the end of March, for the Aries, shout out to the Aries. For those who sign up before the end of March, we'll also be welcoming you and inviting you into a special Q&A session that's going to be happening after the boot camp. Essentially what's going to happen during that day, that whole course, is that you'll be going through all the strategies and we're going through all the questions. But likely, as Johnson mentioned, right, you're going to have some questions. You're going to have some questions that will come up as you implement, as you incorporate what it is that you want to do. And so we're going to have an opportunity as well, too, for those who sign up during the next couple of weeks, essentially before March 27th, right? Early registration. For those who sign up before then, you will get a special as well, intimate experience for Q&A, even beyond a follow-up accountability session. My clients call me their business coach, their life coach, and their project manager. And a big part of business is also accountability, right? Having someone to check up on you. So you don't be ready, don't worry. Like you're gonna have that Q&A session, you're gonna be like, oh, Vanessa, I did all things. Or you're gonna be like, oh, I didn't do all things. And we're gonna do some live situation. But it's all about the way do you take advantage of this course and this opportunity is, are you comfortable? Are you ready? Are you ready for that next level of success? Are you ready for getting uncomfortable? So that you can reach what you need to reach that chapter 4, reach that chapter 5, right? Reach your chapter 10, reach a whole nother book altogether, right? Forget about being in the same book, reach a whole nother book altogether. And so if you want to sign up, Jocelyn has put the link in the comments, right? The Grow Your Business course with yours truly, Vanessa Zamy. Hey. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys live April 24th. For those who sign up in the next couple of days as well too, or even just right now, essentially, you will also get a special invitation to join me for a live Q&A, VIP strategy session, VIP day, weeks even following. So yes.
I'm super excited about it. I know your prices, you taking the time for a full day, first of all, out of your busy schedule to do it for us. We want to really, really get the word out. The course is $97 up until March 27th, and you cannot beat that. And then after March 27th, it goes to $125. What I think the most important thing that we'll learn out of this course is to mind our business. There's so much that takes our focus, so much we can be looking. We go down, pull up Facebook just to see pop in and pop out. We find ourselves there 2-3 hours later scrolling. But this is going to teach us how to bring it all in and mind our business. And we'll see that we really have time to do everything we need to do. We won't be overwhelmed anymore. Our lives will be prioritized and we'll be better for it. And success is preparation. Like you said, you want to go to the next level. You want to be successful, but it takes preparation. It takes when nobody else sees you. It takes you getting behind closed doors, frustrated and crying to your coach about how you thought it was going to go this way, but it didn't go this way. And then when you get through crying, you get up and you say, well, let's get back to the drawing board. And so you need this community and you need people to encourage you. And one of the most important things is building community, like that keeps you when you want to stop. If you don't have the right community, they'll say, girl, yeah, it's just too hard, don't keep on going, yeah, go back to your job. But when you have community, you have people who can tell you, just keep on, I've been there, I've done it, don't give up, keep pushing, you will succeed. How can I help you? I know this person, they can open a door for you, and so on and so forth. When you're in the right community, when you're surrounded with the right people, they can put you in the right places. As you said earlier, it is who you know. And so we're beyond excited about this new course that's coming up with Vanessa. The information is in the comment section. And also in the comment section, there's a StreamYard link in there. If anyone wants to come in and ask, you can click that link and we'll pull you right on in here with us streaming live, and you can ask Vanessa any question that you want to ask her or me or however. If you have questions about the course, questions about the things that we spoke about, going to the next level, getting our marketing strategy together, so on and so forth, and investing. So that link is in there, as well as the link to register for the course. Again, March 27 is the deadline for pre-registration. The course is $97. It is 4 hours on a Saturday. This busy woman taking the time out of her day and to reduce her charges for us, because she believes in the mission of Queendom to empower women to come up to where they need to be. It's time that we just stop asking people for equality and do what we need to do to become equal. It's just, you got to have a different mindset. You got to do something different. And so this course is the beginning of you deciding, I'm going to do something different. It is the easy fix. I know when I was out working in corporate America, paying $10, $15 for lunch every day, if you just stop there for 1 week, bam, there it is. Enough money to invest and get this course and allow Vanessa to shift you to the next place. Vanessa, I'm going to let you finish us out. Do you have anything else to share with us?
I would say, a Soil wrote a comment. She said, I was actually told I should go back to work. That means I'm going to keep fighting to move my business forward. Right. And the thing is, I have a whole thing that I tell people in terms of, if you've already quit your job, just stay out the workplace, because you won't be miserable if you go back. But the thing is that you do need income. Right. And so if your business is not making that income, you do need to bring in income in some sort of way, right? So get yourself a side gig or a side job, whatever it may be. But with that being said, because at the end of the day, as you realize, to be even better in your business, you need to invest in it, right? And so at the end of the day, you need to invest in your business, but also invest in yourself, right? And investing in yourself, you're investing in your business. And so if you are finding that you are struggling with money, the thing is that, here's the thing, financial stress is not cute in business. Financial stress does not lead to good energy that you're bringing to your clients, that you're bringing to your customers, right? It's actually hurting you rather than helping you. So ensure that you are finding that way to make it, right? While you make your business happen. With that being said, we'll be going into some key tips as well too. One of the modules or sections, as I could say, during the course is profiting towards financial freedom. So we'll be going into the tasks and the activities that you need to focus on as you work towards focusing your business and increasing those sales, so that you can, I tell my team when I onboard team members, I say, you know what, we are making an impact so we can make an income. Because what do you do with that income? You make even more impact, people, right? You, with that even more impact, what do you make? It's a cycle, right? Essentially, at the end of the day, yes, you can give $10 to your church, or you can give $100 to your church. Now, $10 is also great. Yes, it's appreciated. It's amazing, right? But chances are you probably want to give more. So, right? And how do you do that? You need to fill your own cup, so you can then share it with others. Maybe you want to buy your parents a house. Maybe you want to retire your spouse. Maybe you want to leave some money behind for your kids. Guess what? You got to get the money first, and then you can leave that behind, right? You can't leave behind nothing. So at the end of the day, and so what's up happening is that you really need to work on getting yourself together and getting your business together and focusing on the right activities, focusing your business when it comes to efficient marketing strategy, efficient time strategies, just being efficient and effective, right? My motto, I don't know if we're going to talk about it today, but it's my motto is keeping it simple, then keeping it moving, right? The reason why my accelerator outside of this course is called the Hustle and Breathe Business Accelerator, because that is what we do. It's a holistic program to ensure that you are taking care of yourself, but also taking care of your business. I'm a big proponent of that in terms of not burning the midnight oil. I remember when I was doing my business, 7-month time frame, built the business, had clients coming in, built another business in terms of real estate, networking, traveling around the country. At the same time, I had my day job, awful boss, terrible boss. With that being said, I had to use other maneuvers, but I ended up essentially getting promoted as well too at my day job at the same time though, right? But I left work 4:30 p.m. shuttle, I was out that door, right? And I made myself, got home at the same time, 7-9 hours of sleep a night, right? I was also losing weight, and intentionally, because I was running. So I was also losing weight, getting myself cardio up, all that in a 7-month time frame, right? Because I'm all about getting stuff done, right? But getting stuff done efficiently and effectively. And at the end of the day, that's what we're going to be going into and diving into. I remember I worked with one of my clients, and she's a mother of 3 kids, 2 of them in elementary school, virtual homeschooling, and the other one is going to be there next year. And essentially for her, we sat down, we found 18 hours in her schedule where she could get her business done, 18 hours during the week where she could get her business done, even with all of that, right? And still get 6 hours of sleep a night. For her, it was 6 hours, so we went with 6. But essentially, even get 6 hours of sleep a night, right? And so at the end of the day, 2 questions: do you believe in your next level of success, and are you ready for your next level of success, right? And if the answer is yes, join us in the force. I look forward to seeing you. And yeah, that's what I'll say there. Keep moving forward.
Awesome. I am beyond excited that she has joined the Queen team to help ladies get to the next level. We will see you all at the marketing, at the Growing Your Business course. We're excited. I'm excited for what is going to shift. I'm excited for the testimonies. I'm excited for what y'all get ready to come back and say, when I took the course, now I'm doing this, and now I have this many sales, and now I'm doing this, and I'm connected here, and it shifted me to a new place, and I figured out what I was doing wrong. That's important. We can't keep doing what's wrong and expect different results. That's insanity.
Yep. Insanity, indeed. Yes, we're on the same wave, yes.
We have to do something different, and sometimes we don't know what that looks like. And so Vanessa will begin to help us to delve into what that looks looks like in our course on Queendom on April 24th. So go ahead and register, share the information. It's going to be powerful. 4 hours with this lady. You have heard her. She can go, right? You know, she has something for you and you will not be the same. So I thank you so much for coming alongside of us, partnering with us, and for really having a heart for women, wanting them to be empowered and going to the next level. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Jocelyn. It's been a pleasure.
Bye, everyone. We will see you next week on the Josilyn Drake Show. Enjoy your day. God bless you.